man, by the time we end up making these videos at night, we done went through such a long day, so many vibrations. It's motherfucking election day, all types of weird shit. You know, at the top of my day though, the focus was realizing, like, fuck everybody, bro. Anybody who needs external motivation simply lacks self-love. You just don't love yourself. Just say that. Whatever you want, your world is yours. And the reason we say that is, like, if you're willing to allow inferior conditions, problems to exist in your life, if you're willing to allow those things to continue, limitations, right, to continue, then just say you don't love yourself enough to change this shit. It's as simple as that. All the excuses, all the talking, that shit tired, bro. Just shut the fuck up at this point, you know. Whatever you want. And I say that because so many people need to create these narratives, you know. Do it for your people. Do it for your mother, your father. What would your bloodline? I mean, maybe the future, right? Like, I'm like, fuck everybody in the past. Fuck all my past people. I'm living for my future people, right? And a lot of you that are watching this video right now are proof of me having lived for my future people. You know, it's not the first rodeo where me as an individual has gone out and expanded my reach, expanded myself by going beyond the limits of my locality. Meaning, when I even first started out, you know, young bass Sheikhy Chic, young bass 𝐿-𝘿𝐿𝐼, I mean, going into bass world. Ain't nobody from bass world in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I made a name for myself amongst people who weren't the people I was born and raised around. You know, so it's always been that evolutionary pathway where you have to leave the tribe or the local unit or the home unit or whatever the fuck and voyage out there. And it's always been that I've always been well received and loved by those who didn't know me from a hole in the wall, besides the value that I brought to them up front. You know, and it ties into a whole bunch of different reasonings. Of course, people who grew up with you, who feel as if they knew you, have a certain idea and concept of themselves in relation to you. And initially, yeah, of course, people are gonna have these relative socio-psychological power struggles. Like, that shit is a no-brainer. Sheikhy Chic is too intelligent for this shit. And maybe it's up for speculation initially, but when you haven't missed for 760, 70, 80 times in a row, and you've become this sober, haven't backstepped. I never even mentioned it, but what's today, November 4th or some shit? 4 straight years of being sober. No weed, no alcohol, no nicotine. No, nicotine happened in April. So I'm 4 years clean of weed and alcohol. By April, it'll be 5 years with no nicotine. Anyway, whatever you want, your world is yours. Sober fit as a motherfucker, truly enlightened and applying it, and truly financially successful. 𝑦𝑊𝑦. So initially, yeah, it was them versus me, right? Everybody try to hold a nigga back, but when you just keep running that shit in 800 times plus, niggas don't miss, and everybody else did miss, and everybody else prove who they not, and you really like that, really been that, told you that, been that. It becomes a matter of you become so undeniable that they'll just be living in denial. Whatever you want, your world is yours. At first, they'll try to deny you. Then your job is to become undeniable to the point where they have to either accept the truth or just continue to live in denial. But their denial of the truth doesn't change the truth. We are what we are now. Anyway, don't need external motivation. Don't even need that. I never needed the idea of competition. I just love myself enough to liberate myself from the limitations that are on my existence, which are byproducts of my own irresponsibility. You need to do the same. Love yourself enough to be responsible and remove the limits that are byproducts of your irresponsibilities in your own life. I don't need external motivation. I don't give a fuck to do it for my moms, my pops, and my people that I knew, this racial group, none of that shit. Bottom line, I'm doing this shit for me. And you need to go out and do it for you. You need to live your best existence for you. You need to treat yourself with the highest degree of respect and operate at the highest standard for you. Fuck everybody else. People who need external motivation show an absence of self-love, and it's as simple as that. And anyone making an excuse is straight up bullshit. It's tired, it's lame. Just say you don't love yourself enough. And I've heard many people say, well, I don't have the money. Well, are you committed to being unable to afford the obvious help that you need, the obvious solution to your existence? Or are you willing to stay committed to being unable to afford it, aka staying committed to living with the problems? 𝙎𝙬𝙊𝙆𝙎, your world is yours. So many people say that money isn't important, or money is beneath them, but this is what they let stop them. They let this, I'm not gonna back them all out, but they let these stop them from living the unlimited existence. So this becomes their limit, but they consistently try to cover up their incompetence by saying things like this is beneath them when they're beneath this. If there's something that you want in this life, it could be physical, tangible, or it could be the guidance and the education necessary to learn how to really liberate yourself materially and tangibly. Whatever it is, if this is what's in the way and you don't figure out this as a problem, then this is the problem apparently. If it weren't for this, if you didn't have this problem, right, then you would move forward and acquire the thing that you want to acquire. You would acquire the experience you want to acquire, or you would acquire the knowledge that you need. But if you're committed to staying unable to afford it, that means you're committed to the problem. Why your world is yours? I'm not even here to intellectualize this shit. You just don't love yourself enough. Anybody who doesn't have money just doesn't love themselves. You just don't love yourself. Just say that, bro. And that might actually be the best thing you can do, is to recognize how much you actually do not love yourself. You don't love yourself enough to actually do the work to liberate yourself from the inferior conditions which force you to spend your lifetime, which is non-refundable, in a way that you don't prefer to exist in, that you know is a pain for you to exist in because you prefer a better one. But like we said, the consequences of your own irresponsibilities. Why your world is yours. It's too simple. I don't do this shit for nobody. I just do this shit. Fundamentally, it was for me. I was fucked up. I hated being in substances. I hated even down to the nicotine. Nicotine was the worst because you already know that shit don't even do nothing for you. You're inhaling this shit or ingesting it in whatever means, and you know it's fucking you over on mad levels, and then you become mentally and emotionally unstable and irritable without it. So you don't have your repose, you don't have your own composure. Every time you use this thing, you know that it's harming you. Very literally. Alcohol the same, weed the same. And not only are you paying for it by becoming mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally weaker, you're actually financing it and paying for it with the money. So if money never stopped you from destroying yourself, yet when it comes down to learning how to become responsible and using the money to liberate your existence, which is not going to be through some thing that you can administer, but it's going to come through your better administration of your existence. If that's a question, you just don't love yourself enough. Yeah, you're willing to pay for your own destruction. You're willing to finance your own degradation. You know, mental health is a real thing. And if you call yourself being a man, but you don't even have so many of these quote-unquote men, they call themselves men but as descriptors, but they don't even have this. They don't have one of these. And these are 100 of the little pieces of shit,
the ass wipers. You know, I wipe my ass with a dollar bill. You know what I'm saying? Them shit's so dirty I wouldn't even think about that for real. But like, just learn to listen to people who have better perspective than you, and really take everything I ever say and go look at yourself. Dude would be like, oh, go look at yourself. Sober, fit, enlightened, and rich. Not only that, we are authors. Not only that, we are musicians. No, we're everything we respect. And there's no validation necessary outside of ourselves. In fact, in a world full of people who need the validation from others to move forward, and if they don't get the approval or validation from others, they're less likely to move forward, we make the move. And we validate ourselves with the fact that we validate ourselves. Understand that? Fuck, I look like not being me because other people might not like me. Or other people may not appreciate me at the level that, fuck them. I don't give a fuck. I love me. I love myself. So I'm gonna make this happen. While you out here living the life you can get, we're out here making the lives that we want. Fuck what you heard. And this is why the world fucks with me, because my mentality. I don't give a fuck. The difference between me and y'all is I don't give a fuck. And that's why the world fucks with me. And it's not only I don't give a fuck, I operate at the highest, most superior standard while not giving a fuck. I will continue to do that. And that is the undeniable and indisputable characteristic and trait that if anyone were to embody truly and study under my mindset and understand what goes on in my program, it's not just a workout. If you acquired that aspect and that element and comprehended that with a degree of comprehension that outsurpasses the rest of these fucking bozos, you know how far you would get in life? Get on this YWY state of mind and you'll be on a whole different type of time. But anyway, sober, fit, enlightened, and rich. We don't do this shit for nobody else. We do this shit for ourselves. I was tired of being a bitch. I was tired of being a slave. I was tired of being that which I did not respect. So I'll be damned if I don't change that shit. And if you allow that shit to continue, being someone you don't respect, and you just don't love yourself. And ain't nobody respect a broke ass motherfucker who can't even provide for themselves, let alone provide for anybody else. Like, I'll be thinking about some of these motherfuckers, like, they don't even got it to give themselves. How the fuck, I'm talking about these people that I know from Brooklyn and shit. You ain't got it to give yourself, nigga. Where in my mind am I thinking it's mentally healthy for you to be able to exchange with me? You don't even got it to give yourself, nigga, let alone wake up in the morning for yourself, nigga. Take care of your physique and be somebody that's representable for yourself, nigga. You don't even got that, nigga. Shit don't even cost no money. Being sober don't cost no money. Being fit don't cost no money. Self-respect don't cost no money, nigga. You ain't even got that for yourself. Feel me? Whatever you are, your world is yours, so we on a different type of time with this shit, you feel me? Consider the vibrations raised. Evolution is the only solution. Self-mastery is the only success. And while they all need external motivation, when if they don't have it, they're willing to remain as less, like what? I give a fuck. All humans could be wiped off the face of the earth and I could be left on this earth alone. And I will be perfectly fine. Same thing, same person. It would suck because I like to cooperate with humans and build alongside humans, but that's how we get to working with the people we work with. Collective value exchange. Consider the vibrations raised. Shouts out to everybody that's on the program. And if you're watching this video right now and you're considering not investing in yourself and continuing to be someone you don't respect, then go the fuck look in the mirror and really reflect on who you're choosing to be. Fuck is that? Whatever you are. We are the new superior standard. We are the ascendancy. And we move militant. We wake up 4 a.m. or better, nothing less. Militant. 200 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, 100 dips before we even get to earn the weights. You don't get to touch weights. This is just what men do. Militant. Then we hit the PT. And then get on a program. Learn how to run a program. Because if not, you just out here fried like a motherfucker. Don't need no external validation. Don't need no external motivation. Because we really love ourselves. And we really got it for ourselves before we got it from anybody else or for anybody else. And we living for our future people. Don't be beholden to these people in the past. These motherfuckers is has-beens. Motherfuckers is washed up. Motherfuckers is stagnant. Motherfuckers is downhill like a motherfucker, bro. Fuck them. Do it for you. Be the best you should be for you. And enjoy that shit thoroughly. The whole process. You get me? Consider the vibrations raised. Evolution, only solution. Self-mastery, only success. Discipline, the only freedom. How much fucking words you need to hear? It's time to get to work. So either you committed to wasting more time, or you committed to never wasting time again. Either you committed to remaining less, or you committed to never remaining less again. There is no in between with none of this shit. Remember what side of history you chose to be on when it's all said and done. Consider the vibrations raised.